guys, my name is Zander Hodgson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm getting a haircut by one of my best friends called Jacqueline Bush. She's one of the best hairdressers that I know. I thought it'd be interesting for you guys because you're always asking me what I do to my hair to get it a certain way. And I'm also going through quite a big transformation and I'm getting quite a lot off, so you will see a bit of a transformation. So don't go anywhere because we're going to talk you through how I get my look.
I'm Jacqueline Bush. I'm a Los Angeles-based hairdresser. I started out in New York. I lived there for 8 years and started out assisting with fashion photo shoots and editorials, and eventually fell into doing celebrity stuff. I started working with Faye Hill, and since then I've worked on the heads of Michael Bublé, Gwyneth Paltrow, Daniel Radcliffe, Patrick Dempsey, Paula Abdul. And I would say my specialty is kind of a natural glamour, if you will. And so what I mean by that is if you have a really good cut and maybe one or two of the right products, you can roll out of bed and make your hair look good without having to spend more than a minute or two. I also have a podcast out on iTunes. It's called The Therapist, and that focuses on healing the insides, which matter just as much as the outsides. And I look forward to you guys joining me to see what I do today on it.
So this is the look that I'm gonna go for.
I love it. One of the things I love about you is you always bring the inspiration picture, which some people are nervous to do that, but it's always so helpful because our communication is different. So when I see a picture, it's just easier for me to understand.
Yeah, and then you tell me stuff like that I wouldn't have known before. Like, oh, he's got it a lot shorter here, so that's going to be a lot coming off. So like, you prepare me for that.
So I love this cut because it's exactly the way your hair texture is, and we've done this cut before. And I'm still into it. I think it's a really good cut because it's like strong but still has some edge to it, and you can polish it up and you can also just leave it wild. We're going to take quite a bit off your sides. So let's get started.
Yeah.
I'm going to spray Zander's hair down a little bit. I'm not going to make his hair completely wet. The reason I am not with him is because part of what he's shown me is much edgier, and I need to see that the way I get the edge in hair is to do most of that dry. But the whole point of this cut is it's not exactly even. We don't want it to be too precise or too polished and pretty.
Jacqueline has been cutting my hair for a few years now. I wonder how long it's been. Because I've been in LA for 4 years and I met Jacqueline right at the beginning. And it was hard for me to find a hairdresser here that I trusted. And she's someone that I find really knows the details, the little details that make a haircut like amazing.
One of the things you'll notice is I'm going into his cut, and again, this cut isn't about completely even, so I'm just eye marking everything. And when I go into the cut, in general, I think it makes the hair lay better if you point cut into it versus going vertically down. So I always go straight into the cut. Gives more natural movement in the hair. As I come around the side, I'm sectioning off the top. When I make this part, it's from the tip at the highest point of the brow. This section I like to be a little disconnected because there's going to be more length in this part of the hair than down here. When the hair kind of comes back like this, just make sure you comb your edge around that. What I'm careful of is oftentimes men, Zander doesn't have this issue, but they'll have like a little bit of a receding line through that. You want to make sure that, you know, if that's the part that's receding, you want to get after that, below it, because having this part and the part that's receding over to the other side, it'll keep that weight and thickness. Because if we were to cut through that, it just weakens it, and men need a lot of strength through here.
I see a lot of guys that are my age start to get a little bit thinner around this point or at the back. And one of my granddads actually does, well, he went bald quite soon, but my other granddad, he has a full head of hair, like big bouncy, and he's always like actually getting it cut kind of like me.
You know, there's still a lot we don't know about hair loss. Some of it's genetic, some of it can be dietary. So I always say, if you're worried about hair loss, like meditation actually helped and stopped the process, believe it or not. The other thing you can do is take a B complex vitamin, not just biotin, but a B complex vitamin. And if you're starting to see the effects of that, go ahead and try it. So it's better to do something than nothing at all. I've cut the back. Now what I do, this is where I feel like a lot of hairstylists, they kind of get tripped up, is that if they see something that's a problem, they don't know how to correct it. You always have to go back in with your eye. Like if I don't like that little tail, I'm just gonna cut it. And now it's getting a little rounded here, so I'm gonna take up this layer a touch shorter. I like to always have more length to play with. So I tend to err on the side of caution, cut less off so I have more to work with when it is a cut like this. And you know, because Zander is in the public eye, I want him to walk out of here with perfect hair. I don't want him to have to grow into it or be in that awkward phase. The whole point is that it's like he wants to walk out of here and be able to walk onto a photo shoot. So I'd rather preserve a little length, go back in and take more off, than lose that length and wish I had it later. As I comb out the top, I'm going to make sure I'm combing in exactly his natural part. You see how I didn't put that completely precise because his part isn't completely precise. So that's important. You want to make sure you're always doing with the way the hair naturally falls versus getting caught up in it being completely even. If his hair does not fall even, if he walks out of here, it's not going to be doing what he wants his hair to do. I'm going to connect it by taking the top with my bottom piece. I like a stronger disconnection. So I'm connecting the crown of his hair. I'm still going to leave out the front bit. I'm going to save that because that's our money piece. Still preserving a lot of that length. But that extra length on top keeps this cut very edgy. So I always eye that front section that I left out. See how his piece here comes straight to the end of the eyebrow? So I know on Zander's hair, that's about right here. So I'm just gonna go in there. I know I have my eye about right to there. I still like this heaviness on top. I want him to be able to have that length to like play with. If I take all that, he loses that and it becomes more polished. Here's the sweet spot. This is where all of it matters. It's all in the texturizing. Zander has really thick hair, so he gets very bushy and blocky in here. And I know how many times have you said to your hairdresser, like, it's fine everywhere else, but right here, it's bulky and it's big. Well, that's because hair grows out from the head, so it always gets a little bulkier. So I like to thin out a little around here. So right now I'm just going in vertically with those blending shears and just pulling out that weight. I'm going to do a combination of like slide and channel cutting according to the way his hair falls and looking for anywhere else that needs to debulk.
Have you had any embarrassing haircuts, Jacqueline?
Yes, actually. He was very, he was specific about his style, and one time he came to me and I cut the front of his bang piece too short. And so I showed him and I was like, well, if you just wear your hair on this side, it covers it. I'm just finishing Zander's cut off, again, all by eye, so I'm not fashion, it's really all by feel, and that's like kind of the trademark of my cuts. And if like this one piece looks funky, I'm just gonna go in and I'm just gonna cut that one little piece, you know?
That's where the artist comes in.
Yes,
for sure.
exactly. So I love how the short hair angles up your jawline a lot, you know? Every male wants that strong angular line, right? And long hair can soften it a bit, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you're so pretty almost that having, you know, less length around here, like you said, it brings up those angles a little more. I mean, this is like looking pretty good.
Yeah, I love it even like this.
Yeah, and it doesn't have any product in it. Should we put a little product in?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are my two favorite products for hair. This one's wavey texturizing spray, and I always spray it at the root, which gives it that kind of messy, dirty bounce. And then this one is to just make sure that it's all falling into the right place. Like if you want it to be a bit more dirty throughout, or like to have a bit more hold, then I spray it at the roots. Messy, you don't really have to section it off too much. Get in all the areas where you want a bit of volume. I'll mess it up with my fingers to make sure that it's spreading. And then I use the Kevin Murphy texturizing paste. About this much. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment and let me know what you think of my new haircut. And subscribe, you'll stay up to date with my new videos coming out. Let me know if you'd like to see anything else from me.
And let me know if you have any questions about his hair. I'd love to answer.
Thanks guys, bye.